Logan Barrett never really fit in. Even though he was born in Marlow, a tight-knit Colorado mountain town where everyone knew everyone, he always felt like the outlier. His jeans were thrifted. His dad left when he was 8. His mom cleaned cabins on the edge of town while other kids' parents were lawyers, land surveyors, or sat on town boards. By the time Logan hit senior year of high school, he'd learned to keep his head down. The town was beautiful, framed by pine forests and blue ridgelines, but the people in it, the ones who mattered, had a cruel streak. Especially Blake Renshaw, son of Marlow's richest man and self-declared king of everything. At the annual Fall Fest, where the whole town gathered near Carver's Ridge for cider, games, and photos under the turning leaves, Logan made the mistake of stepping into the apple toss competition. It wasn't his idea. His best friend Mason, the only person who really gave a damn about him, had dared him to do it. "You might win, man," Mason had said, elbowing him. "You're the only one who's had to actually work for arm strength hauling firewood." But the moment Logan took the wooden bat, he saw the smirks. Blake stood across the hay ring, his arms folded, flanked by his posse, Todd, Caden, Sarah, and Blake's girlfriend Lacey. Logan swung hard. Missed. Then again. And again. Blake didn't wait. Loud enough for everyone to hear, he shouted, "Dude swings like he's swatting mosquitoes." No wonder his dad bailed. Laughter exploded around the circle. Cold, loud, cruel. Logan froze. That one hurt more than he could admit. Someone else muttered, "Shouldn't he be home collecting pine cones or counting soup cans?" By the end of it, Logan just dropped the bat and walked off. Mason chased after him, apologizing. "I didn't know I thought they'd shut up." But Logan didn't say a word. Not that night. Not even when he got home. He sat on the back steps of their rented cabin, overlooking the woods behind Carver's Ridge, the very spot those same rich kids hiked, posted selfies, and called their secret escape. He watched the lights flicker from Blake's party up on the hill. Listened to the music echo down the ridge. Something in him hardened. Not from rage. From something colder. A slow, calculated idea began to form, not revenge in the moment, but a plan that would take years. He wouldn't fight back loud. He'd do it silent, smart, quietly. The next morning, Logan asked his mom something he'd never asked before. "Do you still have Dad's old land documents?" She blinked, surprised. "Why?" "Just curious." He wasn't. He was preparing. That day, Logan opened his first savings account. Mason, the only one he trusted, helped him research county land grants. Over time, Logan picked up side jobs, fixing fences, hauling lumber, chopping firewood for old-timers no one else bothered with. He was 15 then. By 19, he had his eyes on a very specific stretch of land, privately owned, slightly overgrown, and technically for sale, though no one cared. It was right behind Carver's Ridge. The same trail Blake and his friends used to sneak in and camp. The one they swore was magical, untouched, the real soul of Marlow. Logan kept his name off everything. Every purchase, every deed, went through a quiet LLC. He worked construction up in Aspen, lived cheap, sent every dollar back into that hidden company. The town laughed when he left. Said he'd be back in a year. Said he couldn't make it without mommy folding linens for him. But Logan wasn't coming back for validation. He was coming back for the land. And by the time they realized what he owned, it had already begun. Marlow stayed small, clinging to its postcard charm. The same diner on Main Street. Same annual Fall Fest. Same trails behind Carver's Ridge that everyone used without asking who owned them. The Renshaw family still held court at every town meeting. Blake was now running his dad's outdoor gear company, still arrogant, still untouchable. But something had shifted. One foggy morning, a "No Trespassing" sign appeared at the entrance of the Carver Ridge Trail. Hand-painted. Weatherproofed. Mounted in steel. Locals laughed it off. Probably some overprotective retiree, they figured. That trail had always been open. Blake even tweeted a selfie 2 days later with his boots kicked up under the sign. Rules don't apply on Renshaw turf. But within a week, more signs went up. Not just on the ridge, but at the lake past it. Then the overlook. The old fire tower. Spots people in Marlow thought belonged to the town. A week after that, it became official. Fences. Security cameras. A private company name, Gray Pine Holdings. No one recognized it. The county clerk didn't say much, just that the land changed hands years ago. When the sheriff tried to contact the owner, he got stonewalled. Still, Blake wasn't worried. He assumed this was some corporate snafu he could muscle through. He called a few friends in real estate law, leaned on a local judge, even offered to buy the damn ridge back, at market value. But Gray Pine Holdings didn't respond. Because Logan didn't need to respond. He was already there. Not up in some high-rise. Not hiding. He was back in Marlow, living quietly in a modest A-frame house just outside town. He wore flannel, kept a beard, and no one recognized him at first. He'd changed. Hardened. Only Mason knew. Mason had stayed behind, working odd jobs and raising a little girl after a rough divorce. Logan had never lost touch with him. And now Mason was the only one who saw what was coming. "You really gonna pull the trigger on this?" Mason asked one night, looking out at the town from Logan's back porch. "They never saw me," Logan said, voice calm. "Now they'll feel me." That week, a town notice went out. Effective immediately, all public access to Carver's Ridge is revoked until further notice. The hiking club exploded. Nature lovers fumed. The Fall Fest committee panicked. Carver's Ridge was their centerpiece. Families had photos going back generations on that overlook. Then came the emergency town hall meeting. Blake showed up in a Patagonia vest, storming up to the podium. "This is a disgrace," he barked. "Whoever this outsider is, they don't understand Marlow. That land is part of who we are." Someone in the back stood up. Tall. Lean. Calm. "I'm not an outsider." The room turned. Mason stood, grinning. Logan Barrett. Gasps. Blake's smirk cracked. You're behind Gray Pine Holdings." Logan nodded once. "And for the record, Blake, I'm not here to argue. Just to inform. That ridge you all used without asking. I own every inch of it. And I didn't forget the way you treated me under that very tree line." The silence was brutal. Logan didn't raise his voice. Didn't need to. "I'm not here to sue. Or shout. Or fight. I'm just letting the land rest now. Like it deserved to all along." Blake stepped forward, suddenly less confident. "You can't be serious. You'd shut down something this town built its legacy on. Over a few high school jokes." Logan met his eyes. Cold. Direct. "No, Blake. I'm shutting it down because this town taught me what legacy really means. You mocked mine. So I built one you can't touch." And just like that, he walked out. The room buzzed. Half stunned, half in awe. But Logan wasn't done yet. Because he hadn't just bought the land. He bought something else, too, something that would make Marlow's jaws drop again. Logan didn't speak to the press. Didn't post a thing. Just let the town talk. Whispers spread fast. The once bullied kid who quietly became a millionaire, shut down the town's pride, and walked out of a town meeting like he was above it all. People called him petty. Others called him brilliant. But Logan wasn't done with Marlow. He'd come back for something more than silence. 2 weeks after the confrontation, the town woke up to another shock. A for sale sign went up on Blake's family property. Not just their lodge. Their entire hilltop estate, all 22 acres, listed under foreclosure notice. Logan hadn't lifted a finger. He didn't need to. Because months earlier, he'd quietly bought out the debt on Blake's father's mountain gear business. The company had been bleeding since a failed expansion. Logan had offered to help, through another LLC, masked by layered ownership. The Renshaws, thinking they were dealing with a Denver investment firm, signed the dotted line. Then missed payments. Now Logan owned the note. And when they defaulted, he didn't offer a second chance. He sent a truck, with papers. And a polite letter. It read, "Marlow taught me silence is powerful. So I'm not shouting. I'm just collecting what's mine. With interest." The Renshaws were done. But Logan didn't throw a party. Didn't gloat. He walked the same trail behind Carver's Ridge every morning, the one he now legally owned, and watched the leaves change like he used to as a kid, before they laughed him off the field. It was Mason who finally asked the question no one else had. "Logan, was this all just revenge?" Logan paused. "No," he said quietly. "It started that way. But it turned into something else." He opened a folder on the table, papers signed, stamped, finalized. A deed transfer. To the town of Marlow. All of Carver's Ridge. The lake. The fire tower. The overlook. Everything. Donated. Under one condition. That no one with the last name Renshaw ever manages, profits from, or sits on the board of land conservation in Marlow. Logan smiled. "This land deserves better. The town deserves better. Even if they never deserved me." Mason stared at him, tears behind his tired eyes. "You're really giving it back?" Logan nodded. "I didn't buy the land to own it. I bought it so they'd never own me again." The next Fall Fest was different. No Renshaws on stage. No mocking laughs. Just families, quiet awe, and a new sign at the trailhead. Protected forever, because some roots can't be uprooted. Donated anonymously by a son of Marlow. Logan didn't attend. He watched from the trees. Hidden in plain sight. The same way he'd lived all those years. But this time, he didn't feel invisible. He felt free. End of story.